Hey folks, my name's Ed Trevors. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm an Anglican priest serving in the beautiful parish of St. Margaret of Scotland that sits on the ancestral and the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Gwe. I'm recording this on Monday night for a Tuesday morning release. And I wanted to tell you about something that happened to me today. Mondays usually I take it kind of easy. I take care of all the things that need to get done. I'm there for the emergencies should they come up. And then for the rest of the day, I relax a little bit. Maybe I do the projects that'll feel good to me. The projects that I find energy in. Anyway, today, one of those projects that I had to take care of was I had to spend some time working on my van. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this to you before, but when we first moved to Halifax, the van started giving us problems, and we had an issue with the alternator, so we had the alternator replaced. But even when we had the alternator replaced, it never really quite worked the way I thought the way it should have. Something else was wrong, and I didn't have the heart, or I didn't have the courage to take it to a mechanic because I don't think I wanted to hear what else was going on. I was afraid to hear that I was going to have to spend another $1,000 fixing something. So, I procrastinated. And then last week, my father-in-law was here, and he took the van for a drive. I forget, they went out to do something with the kids. And the serpentine belt broke. Serpentine belt goes around the alternator and the power steering and a bunch of other things. So when that broke, all the systems went out. Anyhow, I fixed it. Last week I fixed it. But when I was underneath the vehicle, threading this belt through, I recognized that something called a belt tensioner was broken. There was no tension to the belt tensioner. It should be like a really, really powerful spring, and it was not very springy at all. And so it wasn't keeping pressure on the belt. It wasn't keeping the belt tight. And I thought to myself, well, maybe this is it. Maybe this was the whole problem. We replaced the alternator. The belt tensioner wasn't doing its job. And because the belt tensioner wasn't doing its job, it wasn't spinning all the things that it needed to spin. And that's why the battery light was going on, and the ABS light was going on, and the traction control light was going on, and the radio was going off, and the heaters were going off. And so today, I changed the belt tensioner. Easy enough job. Only took me like a half an hour. It was great. And I like doing work on vehicles. There's certain things that I'm just able to do. I'm able to, obviously, change the serpentine belt and the belt tensioner. Got that one down. Check, check. I've done the brakes. I've done calipers, front and back. I've replaced the battery. I've done oil changes. I've replaced windshield wiper blades. There's lots on a vehicle that I can say that I've been able to tackle. But I got back in the vehicle today, got back in the van today, turned it on, and drove up the street. And after about 50 to 60 meters, all those lights started going off again. ABS light, traction control light, battery light, radio went off, heat went off. And I thought, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. What's next? I got no answers. I got no theories. I got no ideas. So the only option for me going forward is to take the van to a mechanic, because mechanics supposedly know how to do this stuff. They know what's up. They know what to look for. They know that the ABS light and the battery light and the traction control light, when those things all come on at the same time, that's a symptom of a problem, this particular problem. And they're able to pinpoint it, and they're able to fix it, and they're able to give me back the keys and send me on my merry way. They have knowledge and experience and training that I don't have. This is true for a lot of life. We can all do so much. We can all go so far. We all know. We all have so much knowledge and information and experience, and we can apply that knowledge and information and experience to a certain degree. But then, eventually, there's no more for us to do. We need help. We have to get help. We have to reach out for help. It's okay when we ask for help. We are, in this world that we're currently in, we're experiencing all kinds of things that we didn't expect, that we didn't ask for, that we didn't want. We're experiencing all sorts of things that we're not necessarily, as individuals, prepared to handle. It's okay for us to ask for help. It's okay for us to reach out for assistance and for guidance and for support and for strength. There's a storm raging here in Halifax right now. Lots of rain, heavy, heavy, heavy wind. And where I happen to live in Halifax, it's got to be one of the windiest places in Nova Scotia anyway. It roars through here. And I can hear it outside. I can hear it in the vents. I can hear it slamming against the windows. Feels kind of stormy in our lives right now. We may not know exactly how we are supposed to move forward through this storm, how we're supposed to weather this storm. It's okay for us to ask for help. It's not weakness. It's intelligence. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that as we weather the storms of this world together, we would be willing to count on those around us for help, for guidance, for assistance, for strength, for the things that we need that we don't possess. That's why we're a community. That's why we live as society. For our sakes and for the sakes of those around us. Amen. Nemultus.